Hey guys, it's Max Clausen, and today I am bringing you guys happy to bring my first version of PredatorPlant's post Blazing Dominion. Now, gotta give shout outs to Konami and not even really, but shout outs to the Japanese voice actor of my boy Yuri. PredatorPlants have always been one of my favorite sleeper decks, because Yuri is one of my favorite of the U-Boys. And yeah, when I saw this new support, I definitely had to buy the support cards. All of them. I'm still missing, unfortunately. I thought I bought it, the Saraceniant, the level 1, but that will be coming soon, as well as I need to get a hollow version of my Fusion Substitute. I thought I had one, but I don't. As well as getting a second of Draco Stapelia. But you guys are here more so for the profile, not what I'm missing. So let's jump into this. Now, first and foremost, you're having your starters. In the 3, Orpheus Scorpio. Yes, sir, the QCR. It's been the cheapest QCR of Rarity Collection 2, I believe. No, Mega Pack. Well, regardless. Cheapest QCR for a while. Redding is probably a little bit expensive now. We have the new Circular and Princess, the Bloodthirsty Tree. I'm not calling it the other name. And we have Longinfilia. These are all your starters of the deck. Everybody knows what Orpheus Scorpio does, but if you're new and you haven't seen PredatorPlants, even though a lot of it's been popping up everywhere on YouTube, Orpheus Scorpio is your summon, discard a monster, summon a PredatorPlant monster, level 4 or below. Drasnia is your Circular, as I stated. You reveal it, you send a plant monster from your deck to the graveyard, and you summon her, and you can make her level the same as Descent monsters, but you don't have to do that all the time, but there are cases where it can come up. She also has a graveyard effect where you can banish her and a plant monster to summon back one of your dragon monsters from your graveyard, or summon one from your hand. And Longinfilia, the important boy. When this card is summoned, you can add a PredatorPlant monster or Predap card from your deck to your hand. And when it's in the graveyard, it has 2 effects. You can banish it to place a Predator counter on one monster on the field, or you can set one of your banished or in graveyard polymerization cards back to your field. So fusion or polymerization. So it gets you back your cards. That's it for those 3. Next up, for the last PredatorPlants we do run, is we run the 1 PredatorPlant Lizard or Tepo Lizard. We run the Darling Cobra and the 1 Bibelisp. Lizard is if you have a PredatorPlant monster or a Starving Venom monster, you can summon it from your hand, and when it's summoned, it adds a polymerization from your deck to your hand. Exactly poly. You can't get super poly or apex poly. I'm not calling it the other name. And it can target a monster on your field or on the field and make it dark until the end of the turn. That does have some usage. And its other effect, taken straight from the anime, is that when it's summoned from the graveyard, you can draw 1 card. Only once, because that'd be busted if it could keep doing it. Cobra, everyone knows it's your brick. You don't want to draw this, but even if you do draw it, you still can get its effect off. You just have to do a little bit of dancing around. But when it's summoned off of a PredatorPlant monster effect, you can add 1 polymerization card from your deck to your hand. Only once per duel. And Biblis, when it's sent to the graveyards, add a Predap card, and if there's a monster with a Predator counter, you can summon it back from your graveyard, but banish it when it leaves the field. Now we're going into the PredatorPlant spell and traps and supporting adjacent cards. We have the 3 Predator Primitive, another new starting card of the deck in a sense. You can send 1 Predap card from your deck to the graveyard, except a copy of itself, as cost, I believe. Yep, as cost. and you add one polymerization spell or a fusion spell card from your deck to your hand. So you can grab your instant fusion, polymerization, any poly card or fusion card in the game. It also has a grave effect, is that when your opponent special summons a monster, you can banish this card, destroy one fusion monster you control. It does that in line with Starving Venom's usual effect of when it's destroyed, it does something. So, you know, a lot of your fusions do something when they get destroyed. Next, we do have the Predator Pruning, our in-archetype searchable monster reborn. Even though we did get Premature Burial back, why play that when we can play this in searchable? We have the Apex Polymerization. God, I hate this new name. It is the new Ultra Polymerization, and yeah, it's a little better because, as you can see on the card, this is Super Poly made into a new card. So you pay 2,000 life points, you target an effect monster on your field or on the field, wow. You can summon one monster from your extra deck with the same type and attribute but a different level, but negate its effects. Then you apply one of these following effects, and neither player can activate cards or effects in response to this card. You can fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck using the summoned monster and the targeted monster. So you can, if they have something on their field, activate, target it, summon from your extra deck, fuse them away, which is crazy. Or you can send the special summon monster you summon to the graveyard, which, isn't what you're going to do, but that's there. Also, now we have our one instant fusion, getting able to get our Ambular Melodies onto the field easily without having to fusion summon into it, exactly. And as I stated, the one fusion sub, thankfully I have commons of this, but, I want the holo. Fusion sub is always treated as polymerization, so it does line into our plays with the Lizard and our extra deck Balthea. It also has its own grave effect. You banish it, put a fusion monster back into your extra deck and draw a card. I am also main decking the Predator Planning, because this card does have its uses. For one, if it's in your hand, you set it and you activate it. You send a Predator Plant monster from your deck to the graveyard, and you place a counter on all face-up monsters on the field. Its grave effect, however, is that when you fusion summon, you can banish this card and pop a card on your opponent's field. Is it when or is it if? If you fusion summon, because win effects lose timing. It's not a Predator Plant card itself, but I am playing the 3 Fallen the Virtuous just because this card is busted, and if you're not playing it in this meta, then your deck either don't need it or you're just doing something wrong. Now, for the massive amount of hand traps, we have the 3 Mochami Fualos, the 3 Ash Blossom, the 3 Ghost Bell. All of these are the staple hand traps going into this meta. You can choose to play the mixture of these, but you do got to keep the Fualos and the Ash. You can move the Ghost Bell for a Veiler if you want to, or just take out one Ghost Bell and put in a Veiler or 2. However you see fit, or if you're on a budget. But since I have the cards, I'm gonna use them. I also play the 1 Crossout Designator and the 1 Called by the Grave to stop the opponent's hand traps. Next, we do have the 3 Dominus Impulse, stop any effects that would summon, and the 3 Dominus Spark. Dominus Impulse, if all of you that does know, stops an effect that summons a monster that would summon a monster, and if you have a trap in the graveyard, it destroys that card. Dominus Spark, however, the new great one, well, depending, is that when your opponent activates a monster effect in their hand or grave, you can activate this from your hand. You target a monster they control, banish it, then if you have no spell or no trap in the grave, your opponent can summon a monster from your hand. All of these are able to be played in this deck just because it is a dark focus deck. of course, if we use the, I believe we use all these. We can't use any of them, so there's that. But they're the dominance cards, so you will play it if you can, and if you can afford them. That is a clean 40 card deck that's going into the extra deck. Not giving any side deck because I want that to be more of a surprise, because I will be taking this to locals whenever I do go. So first we have the Ambient Melodies, our insta-fusion target. When it's fusion summoned, you can add a PredatorPlant or card, monster, or spell a trap from your deck or graveyard back to your hand. And you can tribute a monster with a Predator counter or a PredatorPlant monster on your field to summon a PredatorPlant monster from your deck. Next, we have the Fada Dragon. And this card, and this card is insane. You definitely got to pick this up for this deck. Kind of feels like it was custom made for this deck secretly. Its fusion materials are 2 monsters with the same type and attribute but different levels, so it is a super poly target. When this card, I believe it does have a different effect. Okay, your opponent cannot target fusion monsters you control with card effects, and if this card is sent to the graveyard for a material of a fusion summon, you can summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck in defense with its effects negated, but return it to the extra deck during the end phase. Also, for the rest of the turn, you cannot summon from the extra deck except fusion monsters, but you will be doing your synchro plays first anyway, and then the rest of you will be fusion plays. So this is really how we cheat out our Albion or our new Starving Venom monster. I choose to tech in the Chimera Rafflesia just for another fusion target. If you can target a monster on the field with lower level than itself and banish it, and if it battles a monster with a lower level, I believe it gains 1,000 attack points. It's been a while, so let's bring up here. Yep, gains 1,000, and if this card is in the graveyard in the next standby phase, you can add a polymerization card or fusion card from your deck to your hand. Next, we have the Dracostapelia for our walking skill drain. The OG Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. Whenever this is summoned, you can target a monster on the field and gain this special summon monster and gain this attack. You can then, and once during your turn, you can target an effect monster your opponent controls, steal that effect, and when it's destroyed by an effect, you destroy all special summon monsters your opponent controls. I choose to play the PredatorPlant Trifiovertum. This is a walking solemn warning in a sense. It gains attack points for every monster on the field that has a Predator counter, and once per turn when your opponent would summon, you can tribute this card, I do believe. Yeah, if your opponent will summon a monster from the extra deck while you control this special summon card, your quick effect, you can negate that summon and destroy it. And if your opponent controls a monster with Predator counter, you can summon this card from the graveyard in defense, so it recurs itself. Next, we have the new Starving Venom Winged Dragon. Now, this card is sick. Definitely needed for this deck, along with its gimmick. Its main monster effect, as you can see all with this line of text, it is kind of relevant. Once if your opponent summons a monster face up from the, except during the turn damage step, you can target one of those monsters. This card gains attack equal to that monster's attack. If it does, that monster's effects are negated. It lasts to the end of the turn, and when the opponent activates a card or effect on the field, you can destroy 1 card on the field. That part of the effect is kind of in my personal opinion, but its real power is the pendulum effect. When this card is destroyed, like all pendulum adjacent extra deck monsters, it can be put in the pendulum zone. And while it's in the pendulum zone, whenever your opponent specials a monster, it instantly gains a counter. That effect does not activate. It's immediately special summon, counter. It is now level 1 if it's level 2 or higher. And while Dracostapelia is on your field, you have a walking in archetype skill drain. Next, we have our Starving Venom Predator Powered Fusion Dragon, which definitely takes a lot of investment, but it is kind of worth it. Once a turn, when a card or effect is activated, you can tribute one monster on either field with a Predator counter. If you do, negate that activation, and if this fusion summon card is destroyed, sent to the graveyard by the opponent's card, you can target a dark monster in your graveyard, summon it to your field. Definitely just summon it in those late mid-game states where you can just negate something or whatever. Now we move into the synchros. We have the PredatorPlant Baltea. On synchro summon, this card summons a PredatorPlant monster from your graveyard, so that's how you get your little lizard. Or if it's in the graveyard and you didn't use this effect, you can summon back the Darling Cobra and get its effect because it was summoned via a PredatorPlant monster. And if your opponent, and it has another effect in the graveyard, if your opponent special summons a monster, you can banish this card and Polymerization to fusion summon using your field. Next, we have the Bramble Rose Dragon and the Black Rose Dragon. I'm so mad that I didn't know this was Starlight, but I will get that at some point. Bramble Rose basically distributes itself to get Black Rose out, so you have the Crystal Wing plays, but Bramble Rose has another effect. While it's in the graveyard, you can banish it and summon back one plant tuner. So if you don't have a tuner on your graveyard yet, to make excuse me, to make Crystal Wing, you can do that. Or if you just want to extend by having another fusion material or something to tribute off with emblem abilities, you can do that too. Then of course we have the Clear Wing and the Crystal Wing, which, you know, is kind of fitting because Yuri did scrape up Yugo. you know if you know. Next, because of our fallen Albaz, we have the one Albion which we can summon, and we have the one Ecclesia. These are just in here because you can summon this and send this to the graveyard. While it's in the graveyard, shuffle this card and any level 8 fusion monster back from your graveyard, and then send a card on the opponent's field to the graveyard. That is it for this deck profile. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comment section below. I am part of the PredatorPlant Discord now. I will periodically stop in there to see what people have ideas of this deck, because this has always been one of my favorite decks, like I've said, and I will constantly be trying to make it more of my own kind of way to play it. So there will be different versions. I'll probably try a branded version of it, and then I'll try and figure out what else. But branded, you guys already saw my earlier not duels, but videos. I did make a branded profile with this, so maybe I'll do that again. But that's enough rambling. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and share this video with anybody else that does like PredatorPlants or fusion summoning or Yu-Gi-Oh in general. And I will see you guys in my next video.